Hello everyone, welcome back to the Big Classes. So today we'll be studying about mathematical functions in Java, which will be the last part of chapter 3. So in Java, there are many mathematical functions. Mathematical functions means this will help you to do mathematical calculations, like to find the power of numbers, to find square root, cube root, okay, and many other calculations. But in our syllabus, we have these 10 mathematical functions. That is mat.power, mat.sqrt, mat.cbrt, mat.abs, mat.floor, mat.sil, mat.round, mat.max, mat.mean and mat.random. Total 10. There are many more, but as per syllabus we have just these 10 mathematical functions and we'll be studying in details one by one. So first is math.power. So this function is used to find the power raised to a specified base of a number. It always returns a double type value, and the syntax you can see is double A is the variable name equal to mat.power x comma y, where x is the base and y is the power. So let us understand clearly what this means. So in mathematics you might have done this thing, 5 to the power 3, right? The same thing cannot be written by the help of a keyboard. So there is an alternate way. So we have to use a mathematical function. And the mathematical function to do this type of thing, that is 5 to the power 3 or 10 to the power 7 or minus 11 to the power minus 2. Okay, so this cannot be written in keyboard directly. So for that we have to use a function that is called a math function, and that is math.power, where power is the short form of power. This is called the power, right? Power of this is called the base and this is called the power. Okay, so if you want to find the power of a number, you have to use the function mat.power x comma y. What is xy here? Base is called the x and the power is called the y. So this is x and this is y. So this is x and this is y. Okay, so x to the power y. X to the power y. Whatever is given x to the power y, you have to write mat.power x comma y. And remember, the output is always in decimal form. Okay, for example, you are finding 5 to the power 2. The answer will be 25, but in Java it will be not be 25, it will be 25.0. It will always be in double. You have to remember that. It will always be in double. Don't take int. Okay, so after finding the output using mat.power, so mat.power, and we'll write 5 comma 2, because like this it cannot be written in keyboard. So we'll get some value. That value will be stored in a variable of type double. Always the type of the variable will always be double. It is very simple. If you want to find the power of a number, you have to use mat.power. Similarly, we have math.sqrt. sqrt means square root. Math.sqrt, the function is used to find the square root of a function. The function is used to find the square root of a number. I think you already know what is square root. In mathematics, we give this sign, right? This one in mathematics, 4, square root of 4. The answer is 2. But in Java, again the answer will not be 2, but it will be 2.0. Same as power. Always the output will be in double. Similarly here also always the output will be in double. So to find the square root of 4 in Java, you cannot give the symbol. So you have to write math.sqrt of x, where here 4 is nothing but x. Okay, x may be any value. And you will store always in a double type of variable. Always. The data type will always be double. Next is we have mat.cbrt. So if you want to find the cube root, now we are finding the square root. Now we want to find the cube root. For example, cube root of 8. So you write like this. This cannot be written in Java. The symbol cannot be written through the keyboard. So for that you have to use math.cbrt x, where here 8 is the x. X may be any integer or real value. Okay. And again answer will always be in double type. So answer will be 2.0, right? 2 into 2 4, 4 into 2 8. So answer will always be in decimal and it will be 2.0. Clear? This will always be double. You have to remember mat.power, mat.sqrt, mat.cbrt. Every time the output will be in double data type. Next is math.abs. ABS means absolute value. ABS means absolute value. So what is that absolute value? It is nothing but the magnitude. For example, -5. You must have written like this in mathematics, right? What does this mean? This will give you the output as 5. That is only the magnitude. Okay, it will not consider the sign. It may be negative, it may be positive, doesn't matter. It will only give the magnitude. So actually a number is divided into two parts: sign and the magnitude. Magnitude is the actual value. For example, -5. The 5 is the magnitude and minus is the sign. For example, you want to write 10. So actually 10 is also divided into two parts. 10 means it is plus 10. Okay, so this is the sign and this is the magnitude. So mat.abs will always return the magnitude of a number. And the answer may be in int or in double. That is, it depends on the input. For example, you want to find math.abs of -10. So -10 is an integer number. So your answer will also be an integer. So in A, what will be stored? 10 will be stored. Because sign will get deleted, you will only get the magnitude, that is 10. If you write math.abs of 5.0. So 5.0 is a real number. So here you have to take the data type as double. So what will be stored in A? 5.0 only, because the sign is positive. So you will get the same answer. If negative sign is there, it will get deleted. Okay, clear? So now I have written a program and we'll find the output of these statements. So here we have two values, that is A equal to 10 and B equal to 25.0. So we have A equal to 10 and B is 25.0. So A is an integer number and B is a real number. Right here, data type is int, data type is double. Okay, now we want to find what will be the answer in C. You have not studied about the print statement right now, so don't worry about this part. We'll only consider this part. So now we are trying to find the value inside C, or what value will be stored inside C. See, mat.power is used, therefore I have used the data type double. You cannot write int here, it will give you error. So mat.power of 5, 3.0 means 5 to the power 3, means answer will be 5 into 5, 25 into 5, 125.0, because double is there, so answer will be in real. So in C you will get 125.0. Next is D. Mat.square root of B. What is B? 25.0. Square root of 25 is 5. So you will get the answer as 5.0. Similarly, next we will find E. Cube root of A. Cube root of A. Okay. So what is the cube root of 10? We don't know. Okay. We actually don't know. So how to solve this type of question? Okay. So this will come in decimal. This will come something in decimal. Okay. Just don't write the decimal part. We'll calculate approximate integer now. So let us solve like this. If you take the cube of 1, answer will be 1. If you take the cube of 2, means 2 into 2, 4 into 2, 8. If you take 3, it will be 27. But we have 10. That means the value will lie between 8 and 27. That means 10 is lying between 8 to 27, means the value will be between 2 and 3. Means it will be 2 point something, like 2.1 or 2.2. Okay. So we will find the approximate answer. But Java will give the exact answer. Okay. Then we have to find F. Mat.abs of minus of A. What is that? 10 means minus 10. So we'll get the answer as 10. Absolute. The magnitude is 10. Next. G. Mat.abs of minus B means minus 25.0. So we'll get the answer as only 25.0. See, A was int, therefore I have taken int. B is double, therefore I have taken double. Again, mat.abs of A is 10, means you will get 10 only. But can you see I have taken the data type H as double? But A is int. But A is int to double. Actually here I am doing automatic typecasting. So here the answer will be 10. But since you are storing in double, it will automatically get converted to 10.0. Here I am also doing automatic typecasting. So you have to be very cautious in these types of questions. These are tricky questions. These type of questions only come in board exam. You will think that the answer will be 10, but actually the answer will be 10.0. So you have to remember all the rules. This is typecasting rule applied here. Okay, though the answer will be 10, but since you are storing in double, it will automatically get converted to 10.0. Clear? So now we'll move to the next math function, that is math.floor and math.sil. Okay, we have the definitions here, but I will make you understand this definition in an easy way. Okay, so the work of math.floor and math.sil is to convert a real number to its nearest integer. It is kind of rounding. Okay, in mathematics you have done rounding. Okay, it is kind of rounding, not actually rounding. It is different from that. I will make you understand what is the difference. Okay, so what does math.sil and floor do? It deletes the decimal part and brings to the nearest integer form. It brings to the nearest integer form. Okay, so how to solve this? So math.sil and math.floor. So sil means nothing but ceiling. Okay, it is the short form of ceiling. Floor you already know. So if you're standing in a room, this is a room and you're standing, so this will become your floor, right? And this will become your ceiling. Clear? So this is your ceiling and this is your floor. Okay. Now assume that I have a number 6.3. So 6.3 lies between 6 and 7. It comes between 6 and 7. So here 6 is the floor because it is above it. 6.3 is above 6. So 6 is coming below, and below we have the floor, and 7 is top of 6.3. So this is what? This is the ceiling. So this is the ceiling. So when you will do math.sil, it will give the ceiling output. Which is the ceiling here? 7. So we'll get the answer as 7.0. Why 7.0? Because like math.pow, math.sqrt, math.cbt, this also always returns a real value. So you have to take a double data type. And if you use math.floor, you will get the floor value. What is the floor value? That is 6.0. Clear? Okay. Now we'll understand number system. So in class 3-4, you might have studied about number system. That is, you might also have been using in graphs also in class 9-10. This is 0, the origin, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and similarly here -1, -2, -3, -4, right? This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. I hope you know this. Then this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, right? And similarly this is -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. So we'll use this number system or this axis formula to solve the problems for math.sil and math.floor, so that it will be more easier to solve it. Okay, so now we'll always use the x-axis. So now we'll always use the y-axis for it. Okay, we'll not use the x-axis, but we'll use the y-axis. So if you use the y-axis, you have, if this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and it goes on. Similarly, this is -1, -2, -3, -4, and this goes on. So we have a value 3.2. We have a value 3.2. So now we'll find math.sil of 3.2 and math.floor of 3.2. So where does 3.2 lie? Okay, here is 3.2, right? We have 3.2 here in this box. So this is the floor and this is the ceiling. So this is kind of a room where 3.2 lies, where below is the floor, that is 3, and the ceiling is the 4. So when you use mat.sil, you'll get the answer as 4.0, and when you use mat.floor, you'll get the answer as 3.0. Easy to solve when you have the axis. Similarly, now if we have the value minus 3.2, we have the value minus 3.2. So minus 3.2 will be somewhere here, minus 3.2. Keep that in a box where minus 3 is the ceiling and minus 4 is the floor. Ceiling is always the top of you. Floor is always the below of you. Top of 3.2 is the ceiling. Below 3.2 is floor. So when you use mat.sil, you will get the answer as minus 3.0. You will get the answer as minus 3.0. And when you use floor, you will get the answer as minus 4.0. Clear? Just remember this axis, y-axis, and you can solve easily. You don't have to remember the definitions. Okay, you don't have to remember definitions. You can create definitions by remembering this only. You can create your own English sentences. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact what we are going to give. You can create your own sentence, but it should be correct. It should be technically correct. Then we'll take another example. So we have 0.1 sill and floor. So when you use sill, 0.1 means it lies between 0 and 1. Sill means you will get the answer as 1.0. Floor means you will get the answer as 0.0. For example, we have minus 2.3. So in the ceiling we have minus 2. In floor we have minus 3. Because 0, minus 1, minus 2, it comes down, right? It is opposite of 1, 2, 3. Okay, so ceiling is minus 2 and the floor is minus 3. So if you use mat.sil, you will get the answer as minus 2.0. If you use mat.floor, you will get the answer as minus 3.0. Clear? Actually, mat.floor and mat.sil is very easy. The only thing is you should know how to solve it. So if you use the y-axis formula, it will be very, very easy to solve it. If you just remember that when I use sill, this will be the answer. When I use floor, this will be the answer. It will be very difficult and you will make mistakes. So next we have is mat.round. So mat.round is actually similar to what you studied in mathematics. Okay, the rounding of value to nearest significant figures, to 2 decimal points, or to only integer part. Okay, you have done this in mathematics. So now I will tell the rules in Java. So there are 2 rules, one for positive number and one for negative numbers. Okay, for positive number, we have the rule, the value will get converted to the lowest integer if the decimal part is below 0.5. That means if the decimal part, we are talking about the decimal part, if the decimal part is less than 0.5, you will decrease the value to the lowest integer. You will decrease the value. Okay. Else means greater than or equal to 0.5, you will increase the value. For negative, it is little bit opposite. If it is less than or equal to 0.5, will decrease the value. Else means greater than 0.5, you will increase the value. And here value means I am talking about the magnitude. Okay, here value means I am talking about the magnitude. Okay, so for example, you have 6.2. Here 0.2 is less than 0.5. So what you will do? You will decrease. So your answer will be 6.0. Next, for example, you have 6.7. So here 0.7 is greater than 0.5. So what you will do? You will increase the value. So it will become 7.0. Again, the answer will always be in double, in real. Okay. So you have to take double data type. Okay, let's check for negative number. It is 6.2. So here 0.2 is less than 0.5. So what you will do? You will decrease the value. So it will become minus 6.0. We already know minus 6.0 is greater than minus 6.2. But here we are only talking about the magnitude. Okay, the magnitude 6.2. If you see the magnitude, 6.0 is less than 6.2. Don't see the sign here. Okay. Similarly, you have minus 6.7. The 0.7 is greater than 0.5. So what will do? You will increase it. So answer will be minus 7.0. Clear? Understood? Okay. Now we'll check for the interesting part, that is if the value is 0.5. So if the value is 0.5, what you have the rule? You will increase the value. Greater than or equal to 0.5. You will do what? Increase, means the answer will be 7.0. If it is minus 6.5, you will do what? Less than or equal to 0.5, you will decrease it. You will decrease means it will become minus 6.0. Clear? So the only difference is in positive, less than 0.5 you will decrease it, but here less than or equal to 0.5 will increase. Similarly here, greater than or equal to 0.5 will increase, and greater than 0.5 you will increase. Okay, clear? Understood? Okay, now we'll solve some output questions. So we have these values and we are going to find everything, that is mat.ceil, mat.floor and mat.round for each of these values. 10.3, first one is 10.3. okay, we'll also make the y-axis so that it will be easier to understand ceil and floor. So this is 0, this is 1, and similarly you have 9, 10, 11, right? It will go like that. Similarly this is minus 1 and it will go like minus 9, minus 10 and minus 11. Clear? Okay. So first we have 10.3. So where does 10.3 lies? It lies somewhere here between 10 and 11. So ceiling. So ceiling is 11.0. What is the floor? 10.0. And mat.round means you will take 0.3 to the decimal part. 0.3 is less than 0.5. Therefore, you will decrease it. So answer will be 10.0. Clear? So actually you have to practice this mathematical function, ceil, floor and round specially, because these are very important mathematical function. In board exam, you'll get some number and they will ask you to convert it to ceil, floor and round to find the value if it is mat.ceil, mat.floor and mat.round. So you have to keep on practicing this because this is mathematics thing. You need practice or else you will forget. Okay. Then we have 10.51. So again it will lie between 10 and 11. So ceiling is 11.0 and floor is 10.0. Very easy. Round 0.51. You have to remember the rule. 0.51 means it is greater than 0.5. Greater than or equal to 0.5. It is greater than 0.5. So answer will increase. So it will become 11.0. Clear? Next we have 10.7. Again it is lying between 10 and 11. So ceiling is 11.0 and floor is 10.0. 0.7 is greater than 0.5. So you will increase it. So it will become 11.0. Next we have is 10.5. Again it is lying between 10 and 11. The ceiling is 11.0. Floor is 10.0. 0.5. What the rule says, greater than or equal to 0.5, you will increase it. So the answer will be 11.0. Clear? Okay, next. Now this part was for positive number. Now we are going to solve for the negative numbers. Okay. So minus 10.3. Where does this lie? It lies somewhere here between minus 10 and minus 11. So ceiling. Ceiling means this is the ceiling. And minus 11 is the floor. The ceiling of minus 10.3 is minus 10.0 and the floor is minus 11.0. Okay, now we'll take the decimal part. 0.3. 0.3 is less than 0.5. So you will decrease the value. So it will be minus 10.0. Next we have minus 10.51. Again it will lie between minus 10 and 11. So ceiling is 10.0 and floor is 11.0. 0.51 is greater than 0.5. So what will do? You will increase the value. So it will be minus 11.0. Next we have minus 10.7. Again it will lie between minus 10 and minus 11. So the ceiling is 10.0 and the floor is 11.0. 0.7 is greater than 0.5. So we will increase the value to 11.0. Next is minus 10.5. Again it will lie between 10 and 11. So ceil is minus 10.0 and floor is minus 11.0. 0.5. The rule of negative number. Here it is negative sign, right? The rule of negative is less than or equal to 0.5. We will decrease it. So now we will decrease the value. That is, it is 10.0. Clear? So for all the positive negative values, of different situations. We have also solved different situations. This will be the final answer. Okay, now we'll check the output. So you can check the output here. This part, you can see this part. This is the part for mat.sil. This is the part for mat.floor, and this is the answer for mat.round. So 11, 11, 11, 11. So for mat.sil, so we have 11, 11, 11, 11 4 times, correct, and then minus 10 4 times. Means our answer is perfectly correct. We have solved it correctly. Okay, so after solving, you can also write the program in your computer and check if what you have solved is correct or not. Similarly, for mat.floor, we have 4 times 10 and minus 11 4 times. 4 times 10 and minus 11 4 times. Again, we have solved it correctly. For round, we have 10, 11, 11, 11, 10, 11, 11, 11, and minus 10, 11, 11, minus 10, minus 10, minus 11, minus 11, minus 10. Means whatever we have solved is perfectly correct. Okay, Java has the advantage that you can know by yourself if you are solving it correct or not, because whatever you solve theoretically, you can run the programs in your BlueJ platform in your computer and check if your answer is fine or not. So now we'll move to the next mathematical function, that is mat.max. So mat.max is, it gives the maximum number between two numbers. Maximum number between two numbers. It may be two integer numbers, it may be two real numbers, or it may be one integer, one real. Okay, so it will find which number is the largest. So it will find which number is the larger number out of two. Okay. So for example, we have 5 and 3. So how to find which is the larger one? You already know 5 is the answer, but you have to write math.max 5, 3. So here you will get the answer in A. You will get the answer as 5. Both are integer, so the answer will also be integer. For example, you have 5.0 and 3.0. So you will get the answer as 5.0. So you have to take the data type as double. Okay. So it depends on the value you are taking. If it is integer, you have to take integer. If it is real, if it is real, you have to take the data type as double. What if one is 5.0 and other one is 3? Mixed mode. This is nothing but mixed mode. So again, you have to take the data type as double. Clear? So here it will depend on the arguments. These are known as the arguments. The values are known as the arguments here. So if it is integer, you will write int. If it is real, you will write double. If it is mixed mode, one is integer, one is real, you will also write double. Clear? Mat.min means it will give the smaller number out of 2. So here instead of 5.0, the answer will be 3.0. For example, mat.min 5.0, 3.0. So you will get the answer as 3.0. Because both are real, you will getting 3.0. If it is 5, 3, you will get the answer as 3. So you have to take the data type as int. Okay, clear? These are very easy. Okay, so we have few more examples. 6.25 and 3.56. So which is the larger one? 6.25. The answer is 6.25. 5 and 6, larger is 6. The answer is 6. 6 and 8.25. See, here it is mixed mode. And larger is 8.25. Minus 6, minus 9. Which is the larger one? Minus 9? No. Minus 6. Okay. Here the magnitude small means it is the larger number. It is pure mathematics. It is pure mathematics. Okay. And here 6.5 f means it is float type. I have already explained you in previous chapter 3 videos. So the larger one is 9.8. Then we have mat.min. So mat.min will give the smaller number between two numbers. So 6.25, 3.56, 3.56 is small. 5 and 6, 5 is small. 6 and 8.25, 6 is small. But see, we are getting the answer 6.0 because mixed mode is there. So we'll get in real. Okay. Then minus 6, minus 9, you will get minus 9 as the smaller. 6.5 f and 9.8, you will get 6.5. You will not get f because you are storing in double. So f will get deleted and it will be stored as 6.5. Clear? Okay. Next we have mat.random. So mat.random gives a random value between 0 and 1. Between 0 and 1, not including 0 and 1. It will never give 0 or 1. Okay, it will give any number between 0 and 1. And the syntax is data type, that is always double, because always it will be in decimal form. Variable equal to mat.random. So if someone asks what is the output of mat.random, so you will say it can be anything between 0 and 1. Okay, it can be any value between 0 and 1. I will show you an example. So here you are finding a random value in z and we are printing z. So we'll get a random value between 0 and 1. You can see we got 0.3846. So it has a big decimal part. It comes automatically. And now when I run again, it is 0.54. When I run again, it is 0.48. When I run again, it is 0.84. So value is changing, but always it will give a value between 0 and. So now this completes math functions. Okay. So now what I will do, I will run this slide from the starting so that you can take notes in your note copy. Okay. So you can pause the video, take the notes in your note copy, because this is not present in your printed notebook that we have provided. So write out the notes, write the definitions. I have already explained you how this function are going to work. We will be using this function in future programs. Okay. So now I'll go through the slide one by one, pause the video, write in your note copy. Okay, clear? So this is the definition of mat.pow. You can pause the video and write all this. Next we have mat.sqrt. You can pause now and write all the points. Next is mat.cbrt. Next is mat.abs. Next is mat.floor. Next is mat.seal. Next is mat.round. Next is math.max. Next is math.min. And the last one is math.random. So please take note of everything in your copy so that it will be helpful in future during exams, okay, for quick revision. So with the end of mathematical functions, we have also completed chapter 3. So in our next video, we will be starting chapter number 4. Before that, we will be having few more assignments to solve. So now I will take a leave from you. Have a nice day. Thank you.